All right, welcome back, dear viewer. If you haven't left the confines of your beautiful home, please ensure before you get into a health concentration within the city center, you're having your face mask and you're wearing one very appropriately, covering your sensitive parts, the nostrils. Yes, that's really important. And also the mouth has to be covered because those are the sensitive parts through which the COVID-19 pathogens will be entering your body. So before you embark on that journey, perilous as it may be, please ensure that you're not only arming yourself with a face mask, but you are indeed wearing one. It should be very important to tell the public that please do not refuse to wear a face mask simply because you've seen person X who's not wearing a face mask. You do not know their story. So please, since you know your story, you're having underlying health illnesses, you're having maybe some TB, you're having some HIV in there, you're having some underlying health illnesses, please don't be stubborn. You will succumb. You will die in that regard. All right, let's get into a pertinent conversation on the relationship between arts journalists and the artists. What do we know? For years, the relationship between artists and the arts journalists has been lying in an undefined stature. However, at significant times, we have witnessed artists engaging media personalities in the entertainment section in a physical confrontation. You've seen this happen one too many times. Of recent, some journalists were arrested. We're talking about Brian, we're talking about Williams, we're talking about Isma Olaxis, and we are talking about these 4 individuals who were arrested as of Friday last week. Now, they were remanded to Kitalya prison on cases of defamation, which triggered debate and henceforth compelling a look into the relationship between the arts journalists and the artists themselves. And to expand more on this, I'm joined by Andrew Kaggwa, our regular, well, every Friday, an arts and culture journalist with the Daily Monitor. Since the conversation is about arts journalists, he should be having the information that we are looking for on how best to remedy this situation. It's been in the news. You've been watching this. Omlangira Suna, yes, he was accused of being involved in some heinous activities, that he was having some evil spirits on him. He was having some financial problems in his family. You know, really crazy shenanigans, if you will. But then we are here. It has fallen into the public domain, meaning we cannot avoid such a conversation. It's no longer in the people's bedrooms, if you will. This is current affairs now. How best do we alleviate this situation? Andrew Kaggwa and Nince Henry, a musician, is with us here in studio. Very good morning, Nince Henry, and also Andrew Kaggwa. Thank you for joining us on Morning at NTV.
Good morning.
I'll start with Nince Henry. Well, the arrest of these journalists, was it code for? Was it the right thing to do?
I think this is understanding this whole concept. I think people that are putting it as to media vis-a-vis the artistry or the music industry are completely wrong, because I'm looking at it as you know, Dan Brown versus the Catholic Church. You understand? So you're not going to get the whole concept of authors and people who write books, but then you're going to zero down to the individual. So it's Dan Brown who writes the Da Vinci Code, and then you are not going. You have to go to Dan Brown. So if Dan Brown really goes against the Catholic Church, the question is, how does it affect the Catholic Church? Because he makes all these claims that you know, Jesus Christ had sex and all that goes in his book. Okay, so then you look at the Catholic Church and you're going to ask a question, okay, what is the Catholic Church supposed to do there? Is it to simply keep quiet and say, okay, these are claims and they are false claims. After all, he has no proof of them.
Let's keep quiet.
Let's just chill that and let him do his thing.
But that didn't happen.
But then what is happening is that the whole society is predicating the Catholic Church on the Da Vinci Code. And everyone who reads the book, actually myself, when I read the book, actually started thinking that the Priory of Zion ever existed. The Knights Templars, when they claimed that in 1307 the round off of the Knight Templars is where the meaning of the unlucky Friday the 13th.
I see.
That's why it predicated. I take that because
so you are radicalized by the Da Vinci Code.
Exactly.
I get it.
So I get to look at the Catholic Church through that lens that is created by the Da Vinci Code.
You use that same analogy, Nince Henry, to paint for us a picture of what is happening right now. Connect the analogy to this current state of affairs.
So the artists right now are the Catholic Church in this.
All right.
In this case. And so what are they supposed to do?
And the art journalists are the Da Vinci Code.
That's the Dan Brown.
All right.
Dan Brown, who writes the Da Vinci Code.
All right.
So first of all, Dan Brown doesn't represent the whole industry of authors.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is about an individual who is simply having issues with a particular artist.
So let me get it straight. We shouldn't say it is the media against the artist.
No,
we
it's
should
not.
just say it is maybe Mr. Case who is just attacking
It's
Emmanuel Suna. It is only Williams who is attacking Emmanuel Suna. It is only Ismail Axis who is attacking Omlangere Suna, not the whole fraternity.
No,
but leaving a barrage of criticism on the artists.
All, because,
I hear you now. That makes more sense.
I want to zero it down to it's okay. You want to say that it's not the media against Suna. It's a particular media company against Suna. Okay, then it's not the particular media company against Suna. It's a particular show within that media company that's going against Suna. But then when you look at it and you zoom in, you realize it's not even that particular show against the artist. It's a particular, the individuals who present the show against the artist. You get the point? So you are going to throw all the perception of what comes off from that against the media. You are wrong. And it's not that against the artistry or the industry. I mean, like, I've never been attacked by the media.
All right.
Though I remember at certain point there's an individual who also went against me badly, but then I realized it was an individual.
All right.
So, so the people who say that it's media against the industry are completely wrong.
Andrew Kaggwa, an arts and culture journalist with the Daily Monitor. Please help us understand what is going on here. Is it the media against the artists or simply some individuals attacking the artists? And are we personalizing this issue by simply leaving these pointers to the public like this?
Truth is, it's not the artist against the media, because I understand Suna is going to be on Mwasuze Mutia
later after this.
Later after this, which means he's not fighting the media in any way.
Indeed.
And even the media is not fighting artists, because the media keeps giving artists space. I think after this whole incident happened, we have a few artists that came out and they were like, we shall not play OS's music because of what he did. But okay, let's try to understand this. When someone goes on air, they say some things about you. They are saying it in Luganda, which I emphasize that because Luganda is the most spoken local language. So it's widely understood. If allegations are made about you in Luganda on a TV, like they reach far.
All right, so Andrew Kaggwa, he is an arts and culture journalist with the Daily Monitor, and yes, he's going to be continuing with his chain of thought, but shortly after these messages, we'll be right. And we are talking about the relationship between the arts journalists and also the artists themselves. Not everyone is a journalist. If you see one on air, not everyone is a journalist. Some are just simply paparazzi, who at some point were given a mic to continue talking about what they were seeing in the field when they were out there at some point. Wouldn't you agree for this to be true, Andrew Kaggwa?
You see, there is one thing about art, the art industry as a whole. Like it's one of those industries where people do not hold interviews to join. And at one point we thought it was with the practicing.
Indeed.
And then it went on with the arts journalism. You see, the way we do our work as arts journalists is we are very subjective. For example, I would tell you I do not like a certain film, and I'll present my reasons for not liking a film. And someone else will come and say they like the film, and they will also present their reasons for loving the film. That's how subjective we are. We are not like politics where you will report what Museveni said, whether you believe in it or not, but that's what he said. From the
press conference, yes.
That's what he said, and that's what you go with. So that's the difference between arts journalism. I think arts and sports have that similarity. They are very, very subjective in the way they are reported. And because of that, everyone that believes they kind of understand it, even when they do not actually understand it, somehow find themselves in. So what has been happening over the years is people found ways of starting blogs. Others found ways of getting a camera and starting a YouTube channel. And before you knew, all these people were calling themselves journalists in one way or the other.
Yes, Kaggwa.
So what we had, what happened was a case of a few excited individuals, because I kept arguing with people about that, but are these journalists? And some people were saying that maybe they graduated with a certificate, but again, a certificate or a degree or a diploma doesn't automatically pass you out to be a journalist. Like, there are certain values you're supposed to have to actually be referred to as a journalist, or for you to be recognized as a journalist. So we should call them
paparazzi who were given a mic at some point to talk about what they were seeing on the ground. Because paparazzi, their job is to unearth the rot within your house. These are people who attack individuals, not the issues. They'll come, take a look at what's happening within your house, and then send the news to a media station at some point. And then they felt like, since you are the person on the ground, let's give you a mic so that you talk about
paparazzi deal with facts. That's why paparazzi, regardless of which information they get, they'll, even if it needs to take a very bad picture, they will have that bad picture, which will act as proof that what they are talking about actually happened. Paparazzis do not deal with just words or with just texts. They deal with either a video, it could be a sketchy, shaky video, but they will have that video. For example, I know very well that when Kanye West was in Uganda, very many American outlets were trying to break that story, but they could not break it before someone presented a picture
of the guy here.
And when they got a picture, it was a very faint phone picture. It was badly taken, but it was proof that the guy is actually in Uganda. So that's how paparazzi work. What we have in Uganda are people that either got a chance and either someone hired them or someone put a camera in front of them, and with that the excitement came out.
But you and I know very well that journalism doesn't involve attacking individuals. We actually attack issues. We can't come as Morning at NTV and we start attacking President Yoweri Museveni. We would attack the issues that are causing his presidency not to operate at par with the expectations that we have in his government.
You see, this is a conversation I've been having with many of my friends that cover arts. They call themselves entertainment journalists. I usually find it demeaning because I believe this is an economy, the creative economy. What we write about is more than just entertainment. When I look at a concert, I'm not only looking at Ebebe Kulo, Chameleon, or Nince Henry being on that stage, but I'm looking at a backline which is getting employed because this concert is happening. I'm looking at a person operating the lights, the one who did the banners, someone who brought the food. So it's a full economy. When I'm talking about it, I just do not want to talk about it on the entertainment surface of it. But of course, many of the people that report with us prefer calling themselves simply entertainment journalists. When you're an entertainment journalist or an arts journalist or a creative economy journalist, you do not necessarily even have to talk about what someone is doing at home. Like, your work is to talk about the art.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kaggwa. That's why I've been largely trying to avoid this conversation for the whole week, because I was like, these individuals were attacking people, personal individuals, and I was like, where are the issues they are attacking, and how are these issues going to be affecting other citizens within this country? Go ahead.
Unfortunately, it's a brand of, I don't know what to call it. I can't say it's a brand of journalism that's out there now, but it's a brand of programming that's out there. Like, if you want to see how bad it is right now, just try to look at TVs at the hour. Is it the hour of 8?
Yes,
the year of 8, you'll find that Uganda has at least 8 shows that are simply talking about artists, not what they are working on,
But
not the songs they release, not the albums they are working on, or not what they are going to do, but their lives, them losing weight, them gaining weight, them sleeping with someone. Like it hurts for a person that actually loves arts journalism. It hurts that whenever you're trying to look about to look for information about, say,
isn't that the definition of showbiz?
Showbiz?
No.
I don't
Nince
think.
Henry, isn't that the definition of showbiz?
No.
What he just explained.
No. Showbiz is the business that you choose to show.
Oh yeah.
So you must have your preference. as
They
the
can
person
choose
in-
to show the creative bits of the artists and not the dirty
Exactly.
laundry.
You see, the music industry, this is how it evolved.
Yes.
Music was music. It's music like music
Yes,
is
it is.
music. But then, so what Sony did in the Hollywood, they created what they call the pop culture.
Oh yeah.
So this was all predicated on how good can we sell the music, but selling the artists as well. We need to paint a picture to the society that this is like an icon. This is like a different person in society. So sign somebody who is talented, who is gifted with the ability to sing, pimp them, make them look extraordinary, not like any other person. A very expensive house, expensive cars and all that. Paint that picture, paint a picture of positivity to the society. And then they created the pop culture, and that's what moves with showbiz. So if somebody buys a car, expensive car, you announce it as thrice expensive as it is. And then, so that's showbiz. Showbiz, show the business and magnify it and make the society perceive it as like something that not anyone else would.
No, Nince Henry, if the artists do not want to be critiqued by the journalists, in this regard the arts journalists, what does that mean? Because the job is all about criticizing the other part.
This is how I perceive this whole thing. I don't think it's also good if you are an artist and you say, and you're expecting the media to only report positivity.
The good
of
things.
you. I don't think
You release a bad song and then you want the media to say, oh, this is a great song,
Yeah.
irrespective of whether the beat was ugly or the lyrics were ugly.
No, that's never going to happen. But what I say is that there's this new wave of reporting, which was, I think I was still young, with the red paper. That's where this whole thing started. When the portrayal of the artists changed. It shifted from, okay, how good the artist is, to how normal and how actually how disadvantaged they are in their private life.
I see.
And then so it started like that, and then before you knew it, there were shows on TV, and then predicated on that, the shows were negatively attacking people in the limelight, not even just artists. Like
Kitalya. I remember Kitalya sitting nearby a shop and was enjoying somewhat of 100 shillings and a donut of 500 shillings, and that picture caused havoc. We were not focusing on his music in the past. He had great music, Kitalya, but then we focused on that picture and the fact that he was broke now, and this is what was being passed on to the media. Andrew Kaggwa, we've seen this happen on multiple events, and my studio director, that is Emmanuel Teko, is going to be showing us a clip from back in the day when Kenzo beat up Kasuku. Remember that clip? So we want to know, what is the cause of the rift that we are seeing between the two parties?
As I was saying earlier, that one party forgot they were not actually artists, because journalists used to chill with artists very much.
I remember that. That's why I call them paparazzi.
They used to go to their homes, and these were actually journalists at that time. Most of them were even print journalists. They used to go to their homes. They used to go to their studios. Basically, they were staying with these people for a very long time. So they started snitching on them in the papers, like you're looking for a story to write about. You write about something you saw maybe Bebe could do, And Bebe Cool is very much aware you're the only person who might have had that information. So they start cutting people off. When the cutting off started happening, there were rifts of, okay, you guys, we made you, and now you're cutting us off. And now there was war. I think there was a time where there was a guy who calls himself President Walugambo. He had an issue with Chameleon, and I think Mama Fina even had to come in between them. So it was that whole case of the artist woke up and drew a boundary, like, we need to streamline this. And the journalist reacted by, we made you, you can't just cut us off like that. Of course, there were monetary benefits in this whole course. Like, you praise me, I somehow pay you. You abuse the other guy, I still somehow pay you. In all
so some people were sponsoring these heinous acts to take center stage. Like,
the,
I don't like that
the beef and the fights were mostly sponsored by the journalists.
Sponsored? You mean sponsored?
Okay, not sponsored,
the rivalry
but
between
they were
the artists
orchestrated.
who are using
They were
the
orchestrated by the journalists.
All the artists fighting amongst themselves, and they were using journalists as the guns or bullets.
Most
in this
of
war.
the fights
like,
were
I don't like you,
orchestrated.
Andrew Kaggwa, I don't like your new album, then I use a journalist to dig up some dirt on you. Was that what was happening?
That used to happen, and at times what used to happen was me being a journalist affiliated to, say, Leon Island, because I love them so much.
I see.
I will help them fight Bobby Wine by saying something Bobby Wine did, even if no one knew about it. So when they started orchestrating these fights, the artists knew what to do to cut them off. When they cut them off, the journalists reacted and the artists reacted. At that time, the artists thought the journalists were too powerful, or they thought the media at large was too powerful. So they could only threaten that they are going to sue you, but they wouldn't sue you. And they would just corner you and beat you up. I think we know very many journalists that got beaten up or that were threatened. I was told of a story of a radio presenter that stayed and slept in the studio because Bobby Wine was in the parking lot.
Wait, what? That happened?
Yeah. So these things started happening, but no one was suing. At that time, I think people thought it was too hard. And then, for some reason, this time someone said they were going to sue. My experience with some of the people that were involved in this, they all thought it was going to go away. They thought it was going to naturally go away. He wasn't going to push through with it.
All right, Nince Henry, what do you make of this? The causes of the rift between the two parties.
I will still stick to my I think this goes down to the individuals. I cannot get the whole envelope and pour responsibility on it. No, I think if a particular journalist has been writing dirty about a particular artist, then there must be a specific reason for that.
So with these events coming at a time when the industry craves to be resuscitated, you and I know very well that you've been under lock and key for the last 18 or so months. So, and these stories are coming at a time when we really, really need to use the power of the media to resuscitate the music industry or the arts industry. Like you need us, and the artists need you. You needed us to actually do more to ensure that your music, your art is more visible during this COVID-19 pandemic. So how much does this rift that is now brewing right now cost the industry?
It doesn't actually cost
it doesn't
anything
cost.
Negatively. It brings out the relevance of the music industry in society. It's like if it's the music industry, if it's about the music industry, it will draw the attention. So it's really.
But we are not here because of the music. We are here because of the personal issues or dirty laundry that was put into the public domain.
Yeah, but you know, there is something I have to say. I think, and people have not actually looked at it. I have realized that most every 9 or 8 out of every 10 individuals that are doing that job. What are they calling them? They refer to them as gossip shows. every 9 out of every 10 individuals who do that have tried to find a place in the music industry and failed.
So these are failed musicians who in
Yes.
turn decided to take on these careers.
Okay.
If not all of them, if not all of them,
Yes.
if not all of them, most of them have tried to find a place. Some have tried to sing, some have tried to, some were dancers,
Produce.
others have tried to act. Most of them have tried to establish themselves in the industry and they have failed.
So it's frustration on their part, being levied now on the artist.
I feel that there's partly it's the reason. But where it gets us is to a level where, okay, so everyone is realizing that I think the industry and the artists are very, very powerful, that you really have to speak to them in order to draw attention to yourself and then utilize that to gain this social prominence that you can capitalize on to make business. But
is anyone making business off of this?
Of course,
I
of
likely
course.
not find that to be true.
People are paid to do that job. People are paid. I mean, you have about 25 boys who are moving around in the field collecting gossip, Lugambo.
But the gossip has backfired. I don't think there's any other company that is benefiting from any of this. Don't you think now more than ever, Andrew Kaggwa, we need to sit down as the arts journalists right now, and also the artists themselves to iron out we don't need this.
One truth
You
is
need to clean your house.
truth is we need to clean the house.
You need to.
The only reason why I did not join EJAU, which is the Entertainment Journalists of Uganda, is because when I saw the list of the people that were in, I was seeing TV presenters and radio presenters.
But no journalists.
Like you see, not everyone that's a TV presenter is actually a journalist.
People are learning that.
Like I really respect what we do. So when I see a personality even getting positions of like vice secretary, EJAU, I step back and I'm like, I'm an arts journalist that one, you cannot be a journalist of his salt when you're reporting arts, that you're allowed to be in an association that zeroes you down to entertainment. So right now we need to clean our house. I think it's time.
Before cleaning the house, let's know how much damage this is levying on the whole industry, both the arts industry and also the arts journalists, if you will, because I'm not putting this to the whole media for time to all of us engage in these shenanigans.
One thing I would say,
how much of a damage would this be to the entertainment industry as far as resuscitation is concerned?
I don't think there will be a damage to the entertainment industry.
To the arts,
to the creative economy, I don't think there will be a damage. Like you see, people are going to make threats.
I see.
People are going to say they are going to ban artists, but we are in 2021.
YouTube.
There was a time in 2008. There was an artist who released a vulgar song and no radio station wanted to play it. I think it was called Mboko. But for some reason, for some reason Mboko was all over the place. And this was 2008. I don't know how many Ugandans were on YouTube. I don't know how many Ugandans were on social media. Like very few. But that happened in 2008. This is 2021. We have about, I don't even know the number of TVs we have, but we have very many. We have very many radio stations. It cannot come down to two individuals that messed up, and because they do not want to be apologetic, they feel like they can decide
I think
for the industry.
This is also good.
Yes, it is.
It's actually, and this is, from my perspective, I think this is
Henry.
good. This is good for the individuals. The journalists, have we concluded on
They
them
are
as
not,
journalists?
they're not journalists.
They are not.
Okay,
Paparazzi.
I don't know. So it's good to them than it is for the artists, actually. Because it's like, you see, you need that through your journey. The only way to stop a crawling child from touching the fire is to let it touch the fire.
Are we still doing that?
And then the moment, if you want your child to get banned one day in the house, keep stopping it from touching the candle, because it will always keep trying to touch the candle.
As a parent, you'd rather touch that candle than
Let
show
the-
that,
yes,
yes, it has
let
burnt
the
me as an
child touch
adult.
the candle.
You don't let the child touch. You as an adult, you touch the fire, then you show, you know, you've been burnt, so that this
What
young
you
one
actually
doesn't have to
do-
go through the same.
You organize it. You organize it and make sure you operate it very
Yes.
carefully, and you let the child touch the candle. And once they touch the candle, they know now that's a no-go zone. That's the only way to stop a child from touching the candle.
And that's
is to
what
let the
Emmanuel
child
Suna
touch
did
the
with this
candle.
lawsuit.
So what happens after that is you realize that I was on a freeway, and it was all good, but then I hit a big huge hump, and then I stopped. I reorganized my car. Now I can be more careful, because now I'm sure, I'm aware that that something can happen. It's good.
Now here you are, you somehow blamed yourself because you were like, I should have seen that bump. But these individuals are saying, okay, who put that bump there? It shouldn't be there. You understand? So they are not even being apologetic. They're not apologizing for their actions.
At the moment, they're acting like that. At the moment, they're acting like that. But I know when you, after you've spent 6 days in jail, when you go home and you sit and you are alone without the social media posts and everything, you reflect. Trust me, the way we are doing gossip shows is going to change. People are going to be very careful when they are finding out this information. They are going to try to double check.
There's a paradigm shift.
It has to be there.
Yeah.
It always is
There
there.
has to be a shift.
Indeed. But how so? Go ahead, Kaggwa.
So personally, I think it's going to be good for many of us that have been fighting for professionalism for a very long time, because we've been abused for it. There are times you would call someone and you're like, but I think the question you asked wasn't relevant. It wasn't a nice question to be asked. You can easily get sued, and they will tell you artists cannot do that. But on the other side, right now artists are more aware.
Okay, they thought they didn't know their rights, you know, they just could take advantage.
I feel like most artists did not believe it could actually kick off.
But they need to be careful.
The artists
Yeah.
The
themselves?
artists.
Yeah, they also need to be
They
careful.
need
How
to
so?
be careful about that, because when you assume a position of authority and you're actually aware now that you have power, that's not
misusing
something very good. It's dangerous. It can take you down completely. So, are you really able to understand and know how to use that power? Because you can overuse it and use it wrongly. So don't do that. So the fact that you have realized that you can actually sue somebody on TV who said something bad to you should not get you misbehave the freedom to think that you're going to go against the media for your own preferential. It doesn't work like that. You need to be careful as well.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I'm an artist, but if you take a picture of me misbehaving in society and project it out into the
But
media,
this is Nince Henry.
in the first place, I misbehaved
Yeah.
in society. So I was irresponsible in the first place. So it happened. So you see, people talk about how the American.
But that would be factual.
Go ahead.
Yes, it would be
Yeah,
factual.
it would be factual.
But then, it was.
The issue is dwelling on the negativity. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So people always bring out these references that you see when you look at the American media, the way they portray the musicians, they always try to hide the negatives. But man, do you know how much money goes into that? Managing scandals, managing all the teams that work on that, works with the media. Hey, don't put this out. And if you don't have the resources to do that, then you need to understand your limits. Because I mean, we are not going to control human beings from being nosy. You can't do that. So to the artists as well, you know, there are people who are who are fundamentally indisciplined in society, and they are going to do what they do. So it's you. You can also work on yourself, because they are looking at you. They are trying to find any loopholes. Be aware of that. Because I mean, how far will you go with the lawsuits? You're going to sue.
But of course, Andrew Kaggwa, that shouldn't be the culture.
I think one thing I know is people are going to continue talking about artists when they mess up, when they misbehave.
Yes, Kaggwa.
The difference is this time it's going to be based on facts.
Yes.
Like by the time you talk about it on TV, you should be able to prove it actually happened. Unlike before, where someone, because there was a story I read before I joined media. Someone wrote a story that Bebe Cool's dreadlocks had been cut off because he was fighting for pork in a pork joint. And Bebe Cool showed up on a TV show the next day with all his hair on. So I was thinking, like, okay,
if I tweeted this,
what exactly was going on in the mind of a person that wrote this? So right now, after this has happened, I know someone will not wake up and write such a story. But if it actually happens, they'll write about it.
But Kaggwa, do we really need people out here writing such negative stories, or do we need them to be looking for those smaller aspects that are going to be uplifting these artists? Isn't that the role of the media, if you will, these individuals who claim to be journalists?
The role of the media is to inform. Is to inform the public. At times, that information is not necessarily what I want or what the listener wants. So we inform. We do not.
Of course, information dissemination has to be having a correlation with nation building. When you disseminate information about an artist who hasn't built a house, yet they've been singing for the last 10 years, how is that building the whole nation? That is that person's problem.
You are right. You are very right. But I've told you that it goes down to the individual character, fundamental character. I mean, someone was given a job on NTV, let's say, but fundamentally they are not a well-behaved person, and they're going to say something out, and they are representing NTV. So it's upon NTV to look at their individuals that represent it. Like, this is our goal. This is what we're trying to do. We are not trying to do that.
But in the case of NTV, I've watched most of our shows, The Beat, the Saturday night show, and also the Friday Night Live. And I'm telling you, all these shows are geared towards uplifting Ugandans. They'll get a song Chameleon did back in the day, bad picture, bad everything, bad audio, and then they'll play it because we want to uplift Ugandans in that regard. Then I looked at other TV stations and I was like, why are they focusing on the dirty laundry? Why are we painting these artists in this light? Andrew Kaggwa.
I don't think there are shows that believe, because personally, as a person who talks about art, there are very many times I receive calls when someone is like, do you mind coming and being on our TV show to talk about something you posted on your Facebook? And then you're like, okay, so why exactly are you interested in me? And they tell you, and then they're like, but so there are some people that believe these shows are maybe meant to blast people. Okay, they believe that's what gets you numbers. They believe being critical is maybe attacking people. There are many people that have that school of thought.
UCC has failed to do its job.
Oh yeah, Nince Henry. Talk about UCC. UCC has failed to do its job.
As the regulator, they must be able to see that. And they must be able to filter what they require as a representative of the country. And in terms of quality, the quality of the image that is supposed to be portrayed, so they are supposed to filter that. So they're supposed to censor or uncensor, through their authority.
Because this is not good for the artist. If Sony was looking at this particular artist, if Universal was looking at this particular artist, they would look at the, rumors coming from Uganda. They're like, hey, we were interested in this artist, but based on the bad PR, maybe we should drop
Yes.
this individual or not even think about signing them. Andrew Kaggwa, this is what I was saying, that it might cost the arts industry in this way. People who had deals out there, you know, when they hear this dirty laundry out in the public domain, I'll be like, no, 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 we can't take this individual. You know how these international platforms operate. Image has to be clean as much as your music.
But you see, the problem with what you're saying is you're trying to make it the responsibility of the media to ensure that the artist behaves.
No, no.
That's not what he's saying.
No.
Actually, what he's saying is that there are individuals, I mean, there are human beings. So you can focus on a dimension that reflects the nation's
because this is tourism,
wants.
if you will. When this
tourism.
information goes out there, Universal will be like, Sony will be like, because of that negativity. But if you are espousing the positive activities that these individuals are engaging in, yes, they'll be signed. There'll be better opportunities.
If the negative,
if
the negative, like I told you, if you misbehaved in society as a celebrity, then the first point is you misbehaved. But the problem is when that is reported and it's untrue, it's not true.
Yeah,
that's where the problem is.
Yeah,
but if you really had issues with your, I mean,
personally, I believe
Kaggwa?
the same way we call out the corrupt officials when they are corrupt.
Indeed.
We should be able to call out the celebrities when they are not exemplary, because okay, when they misbehave, because trust me, there are very many people that are looking at them and they are taking them as role models, and that's whether the celebrity asks those people to consider them role models or not.
Oh yeah.
So whether you're a celebrity or not, the moment you get some cameras in front of you,
Yes, Kaggwa.
you're going to be held accountable in some way or the other. So I believe it's okay, but it has always to be factual.
You see, when it comes to these corrupt officials, we usually talk about them simply because we want to tell the president, okay, if you are sending this messenger, please change the messenger because the money is not reaching. That is the impact. For the donors, we are telling them, oh, you are sending the money to this agency, they are eating it, so please find another channel through which the money can reach those vulnerable individuals. But when we attack these artists, what do we want to come out? Is it just simply dirty laundry out there for the public?
I think the kind of attack matters. Personally, I attack artists, and
with positive and constructive
and my attacks usually
very constructive
are from the art point of view. From the art point of view, that's why I proudly like calling myself an arts journalist. That if I attack Nince Henry, I will attack him because I did not like his video, or I did not like the song, or I did not like the album.
From the individual perspective.
But I'm sure you did like
that's what I do.
You see, from the individual perspective, but you're representing the artist journalism.
Yeah, so when I attack artists, I attack their art because I do not expect anything more from them. Like, they're artists, they're supposed to give me art.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a problem most of the time.
So you have to critique the art.
Yes, I like talking about the art. When I do not like the video, I will tell you I do not like the video. I will even tell you my reasons for not liking the video.
That's what I like about Kaggwa.
Yeah.
What we are having with what we have on the market, like I gave an example of yesterday, as we had a listening party for a new album. And you have three kind of journalists that were there. You have one that's going to tell you Winnie Nwaju was around and she was dressed like this, yet this is about Azawi's listening party. You have others who are going to tell you Azawi has lost weight instead of talking about the album they were listening about.
She should have wore a different hairstyle, you know.
And then you have those that will simply tell you Azawi has a new album, and there is no more information about that.
How many songs are there?
And then you have another journalist who will come and tell you Azawi has a new album, it was produced by so and so, you will find this and this genre on the album, these are the songs you should look out for.
And that is Andrew Kaggwa.
This worked and this did not work.
Indeed.
I like that kind of journalist.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, what we have in Uganda
is the opposite.
are the first.
COVID-19 pandemic has been ravaging the art industry. That is an issue. So how much can we do to overcome this problem? We wouldn't attack the artists who are grappling during this COVID-19 pandemic because they are not the only ones. I know mothers, fathers, teachers. Those who used to be professors, but then they are not having the jobs anymore. Engineers who were working before had too much money, but are grappling right now. So would I make fun about that engineer if I found them at a shop eating a donut of 500 shillings, yet before they were eating lunch at the Serena?
There was a
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about such a fact that the coronavirus pandemic has been so impactful negatively. It has affected more individuals, not only those who had some kind of work. So if this engineer who had some kind of work is grappling, so what about that person in Katanga? That would be the issue I'm trying to front out there. So these are not journalists, if you will. Andrew Kaggwa, how do we overcome this issue?
Most of the times, like it becomes very easy for gossip shows to say so and so ya guamu and to say so and so is broke, yet he produced a lot of hits.
Yeah.
I remember one time I put up a Facebook post that got very many entertainment reporters.
Enlighten me.
It got very many entertainment reporters on the defensive. I told them, if you've never reviewed an album, never bought an album, never bought a ticket, or never supported an artist in a monetary way, you do not have a right to actually call them broke, because you do not know if they actually made money.
Big question, Andrew Kaggwa, is, are they the only ones?
So
even before you start writing about this individual, ask yourself, is he the only one in this hot soup, or are there more Ugandans?
I think what we need as reporters is we need more information.
More research.
We need to do a lot of research. You're not going to wake up and you claim an artist is broke when you actually do not have any proof if those artists actually made money. Like, I've been lucky enough to help some artists organize shows, and I got to see the politics in organizing shows. I got to see how you see numbers, and someone has not made any money, but you're seeing numbers. People actually came. Someone getting sponsorship, and the sponsorship has nothing to do with money. They're like, yeah, we're giving you sponsorship. There's a stage.
There's equipment.
There's equipment.
Lighting.
So technically, you're not getting any money, but
just visibility. But
the public kind of feels like you're making money. And someone will actually go and write a story, gundi yachikubye yayodde, but you actually did not make any money. So when I made that post, I saw very many of my colleagues on the defensive but we see them make money. I was like, yeah, maybe you see, but can you prove they actually made money? So for me, that story is a gray. We always need to prove what we are talking about.
Even when you said it,
because now when you author that piece or article showcasing that, oh well, artists are not making any money from these concerts, then other stakeholders will look at those loopholes and ensure they put in place mechanisms through which artists would actually make money. That is how impactful your article would be, because you're focusing on the issue. The manager is taking most of the money and not the artist. Go ahead, Nince Henry.
Even when you report the positive, the negative, even when you report that the artist actually didn't make any money, depends on how you're putting it out. Is it in a sarcastic manner that is, it is meant to demean them, that there are efforts where futile, they are not making any efforts towards the goodness of their life?
It's usually laughter that they show flops.
Yeah, it's not. It's terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. And I think the media needs to clean their house. These gossip shows that have come up today are damaging the artists terribly, emotionally, because the sarcasm is terrible. The sarcasm is, it's like, if you're going to go on TV, it's like, and then what do you mean? I mean, okay, so can you prove that?
And if they were, what is the solution?
Okay,
or
if they were, what is the solution? I mean, like, so I think it goes to the whole picture of reporting about
in the next 3 minutes, I believe we should just spare a few minutes so that we can play that song, Tobawa. I think I did like it. Andrew Kaggwa, did you like that song?
Yeah, I like that song.
Okay, you did like the song too, the viewers too. So, Nince Henry, let's talk about some of the remedies that we could come about to alleviate this challenge. What can we, expedite now and in the near future?
I think as the artists, we are doing our job. We are trying to put out music that is good. Within our limited resources right now, the revenue is not that but we are trying to do what we're doing. And artists, you see today, artists have changed the image they put out there. They dress well, they look good. So I think that it's better to project that,
the positivity,
the positive, to project the positive and show it out to the world, so that you create value for the artists, not to demean them and then devalue them.
Nince Henry, when you say about things about your relatives, step brother, step sister, blood brother, blood sister, and you share this dirty laundry to the public out there, is it this individual only who's going to be ashamed, or even you too, the purveyor of this information, because you're from the same family?
Of course.
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Of course. And that's the idiocy that is not being realized by so many people in the media circles who have a proclivity to simply focusing on that. It's terribly bad, because I mean, like, you cannot say that for you your focus is to see the fault on because I mean I'm offering a jacket. Why do you want to appreciate a zip on the jacket, or say simply how the zip is missing? I mean, it's a jacket. Look at the jacket. Say, this is a nice jacket. But that's a jacket, but doesn't have a zip. That's a terrible perspective.
Andrew Kaggwa, I'll be in a much better position talking about that one artist who actually did the most during this COVID-19 pandemic, other than bring out the dirty laundry in that regard. Moving forward, resolutions.
Like resolutions, one, there are two things I would like to say. One, I think I would like to talk to the people that are hiring, our bosses, the bosses of our media houses. One, there is more to life than trending.
Indeed.
There is more to life than trending online.
What are you trending for?
So I think when we set out to do these shows, they call them entertainment shows, we should be clear. Are we the entertainment? Like, are the presenters the entertainment, or you're talking about the entertainment industry?
Exactly.
Because at the moment, I see many of our presenters trying to be the entertainers by either asking stupid questions or by trying to embarrass the people they're interviewing. We need to draw the line. Are we the entertainment, or we are talking about the entertainment industry?
Yeah. Andrew Kaggwa, an arts and culture journalist with the Daily Monitor, and also Mr. Nince Henry, an artist himself. We are going to crown this conversation with him, giving us a brief preamble or submission on this song, Tobawa. And personally, from Romeo Busiku, it goes out to my better half, fiance, if you will, Lois Niyomungeri. That is Mr. Kagame's daughter. Well, she's taking care of the house. Greetings to you, Lois Niyomungeri. Tobawa, anything, all that belongs to Romeo Busiku. Nince Henry, tell us more about this song.
So Tobawako,
I second it 100%.
Yeah, it's a metaphorical representation of a territorial person.
That is Romeo Busiku all day.
I mean, like, so you are seen everywhere like a bright flower, and you spread your petals, and everyone is looking at you. But I mean, don't provide these people with time, because all they need is the attention. Don't provide them with that attention. Don't give them attention.
Lois Niyomungeri, don't provide them any of that attention. Romeo Busiku loves you so much. And Nince Henry, a cappella, Tobawa.
Tobawa, Tobawa, Tobawako, Tobawako. Tobawa kumatugo, bakumalila ude. Tobawa, Tobawa, Tobawako, Tobawako. Tobawako baveka bo batamide.
Beautiful sounds coming in from Nince Henry. A particular song going out to Lois Niyomungeri, my better half. I love you so much. And that's it for this conversation of Morning at NTV. It's been beautiful having you joining us right here on this show. And happy birthday to you, Mr. Chivumbi, and all the kings, queens, boys and girls who are celebrating their birthdays on this particular day. If you are a woman out there and you have a gentleman, a man you love, please, Tobawa, don't share with the others. Yes. Preserve all that for your better half. My name is Romeo Busiku for Everything Lovely. Have yourselves a blessed day. Tobawa.